Oh, welcome, my friends, to Contenders Trials. My name is Jeff, alongside my good friend Billy. We're here in day 3, bringing you some action from the North America region. We got a pair of great games lined up for you, Billy. I'm really looking forward to our action today.
I tell you what, we're going to see the birth of what could be the shaping of the collegiate scene here in North America. In Illinois State University, Redbird Esports, also known as Darknado. We've gone around times with how we were going to call it. I'd go with Darknado because it just sounds, it slips off the tongue nice and sweet. But Drifters, getting themselves into trials here, last minute rosters, they've had a bit of a hard time here so far. Both teams looking at different ends of the spectrum, Jeff, as if Redbird Esports comes out with the W today, they confirm their spot into Contenders, and if Drifters lose today, they are out of contention and will have to go back through the open division circuit to get themselves back into trials.
Redbird making it in is no surprise. The powerhouse out of Illinois State University coming in 2-0, absolutely perfect so far, looking at a +6 map differential, and we don't expect that to change. I mean, this is a combination of American Tornado and Dark Mode, as you were alluding to before, and I fully anticipate this team to go on and take first place in Contenders. Personally, we're looking at the preview. We're looking at the early access beta version of this powerhouse squad, and I mean, it's a real privilege. It's a privilege to see. I mean, you've got Reiner, Ultraviolet, who I'm just going to call UV from here on in, and Hydron coming in from American Tornado. And in an interview with Rocket yesterday, a fellow competitor called them literally the best in their roles in TE2, and straight out of Rocket's mouth, I mean, if they take all these games seriously, they won't drop a map through trials. And I agree with that sentiment 100%. And I mean, they're just an absolute joy to watch. On the other side, you've got Iron, Sam, and Luke Mino coming through from Dark Mode. And this is just a wonderful story, as Illinois State made a point of seeking out these players, Bill.
They did, and I was talking with Flutie, their head coach, and they actually went out and made a point of it. They spent the money and got those scholarships out to these players to bring them into Illinois State University. So, once again, MVC pride here, as I live in the Missouri Valley Conference. They will be representing the Missouri Valley Conference in their collegiate career. But here we are in the Path to Pro system, and I expect them to excel in both venues. So we'll see, where, like you said, it's the genesis of the team. It's perhaps the blending and merging of the Path to Pro and the collegiate scene coming together, Tier 2 becoming something a little bit different than what we were all expecting. I'm living for this. We are getting a sneak peek, a behind-the-scenes look at the birth of what could be such a beautiful thing for our beloved game.
And starting us off here in today's matchup, we'll be headed to Busan for our control map. Busan's a great map, beautiful map. I love this map, Billy.
Oh, I absolutely love this map. And 3 different metas can go here. It just depends on what the teams decide to roll out with on what map. I love the fact that we're going to see, a little bit of Sanctuary, I hope. I want to see the Wrecking Ball comps come out here on the point to see how they get the disruption going on, see how they really get into each other's back lines. And then looking at the off-tank roles, that's where I'm going to see a lot of the battle today. It's going to be a battle between the 2 tank lines, obviously. I really love Crimson. Crimson is one of my favorite main tanks in the Tier 2 scene. I just think they're going to be up against Reiner today.
No doubt. And then in the off-tank role, you'll have Iron from Redbird Esports going up against Ship from Drifters. And Drifters have struggled a little bit coming in. They got their roster put together kind of last minute, just got word that they were going to be eligible to compete here in trials for the month of August, moments before the roster lock was due. And I think we're fortunate to retain their tank line from the previous seasons. So far, they're 0-2 with a -5 differential going up against their toughest opponent yet. It doesn't look like we're going to get your beloved map of Sanctuary to start. We're going to start in Mecha Base, home of Diva and, the Brawl, with these close quarters battlegrounds. A lot of good hallways, a lot of chokes to utilize. First control is going to mean a lot here.
I mean, I'm expecting to see, McFlurry come out here, and I'm seeing it from Redbird. Drifters going maybe with a little bit something different, a little bit unexpected, maybe with a little bit of rolling hammer coming in from them. I love the Doomfist picture. This could actually be spelling a lot of trouble for the backline of Redbird Esports if they're not expecting it. Chopper is very well versed on the Doomfist.
And that would, if you can take care of Ultraviolet, if you can get UV out of the picture early, Drifters might stand a chance, but if Redbird get first control, they're going to lock this thing up tight with that May McCree. Reiner leading the charge with the big shielded Crusader.
Yeah, I'm expecting Crimson to go back and swap. Looking at the Reinhardt coming out here, that would be what I would be going for. If you're going to stay with it, that's going to be a very unfortunate situation. Somber going out early. That's an early win condition off the board for Drifters, so Redbird should get control at this point. 2 speeds.
The objective is now.
Drifters have really given up important map control without even a fight. Now Redbird can sit up here, wall up the entrances, meet the rotations with the speed from Luke Mino, and you can see they've got the read. They know Drifters are coming out. They get the wall up, and the tanks are isolated. Sam does fall early. Ryder's actually in a bit of trouble. Nice immortality, but Crimson will eventually find that pick. A good start from our underdog Drifters as they find 3 right out of the gate. The remaining 3 of Redbird are just looking for safety. Hydron with a nice exit pick. No more supports on the board for Drifters. Ultraviolet putting that killer aim to good use, takes Chopper down. And Redbird are going to return here with a vengeance. They actually don't give up control. Iron hangs on.
How? I mean, I see the trades going back and forth, but it was all about just hiding away from the damage and really mitigating what was coming into them. That was actually a really smart disengage coming out of Redbird Esports. And what a wall coming up from Sam! We were talking about Rocket, and they said that the synergy between the members of the American Tornado half of this team has been so strong, and the bond is so close to these 3. I mean, Rocket, had nothing but complimentary things to say about them, and we're seeing it here on the screen once again. Blizzard's, though, ready to engage for Drifters.
Drifters might be missing that EPS player right now, but hey, Chime right there with the Blizzard. Throw that one down, but I think everybody got out of the way of it. Ship gets taken out trying to dislodge Hydra from the high ground, and now he, was free. Chopper went up, took that one down. 3v3 on the point. Chopper finds UV as well, and it's just the May of Sam looking to hold on, but opted to wisely hold on to that Blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about stalling right now and getting as much progress as for flip has gone through now, though, for Drifters as they start to get their percentage climbing up. But they're going to have 2 ultimates coming into this next fight. That Blizzard might be the fight winner that takes the first map for them.
I mean, Drifters have put up a pretty good showing here so far. I think my only wish is that they would have come out with the Ice Cowboy earlier. Now Sam's going to go ahead and throw down the Blizzard. Neptune right there with the sound barrier. Great wall from Chime denying follow-up. Trying to utilize that extra shield. Drifters are looking to rotate around, but they can't quite meet it. Ultraviolet greets them with some double damage. Another wall coming up to try to deny the value out of that. But Redbird slowly but surely buying space, using a self-destruct in that same vein. I mean, that was a Ship throwing out there, trying to deny it, but to no avail. Ship is going to fall, can't get back in the mat. Crimson goes down as well. Redbird have now bought themselves some point presence, and they're about to get the point.
Yeah, this should be fight over. This should be the map as well, with the sound barrier and self-destruct ready to go. Getting a touch here, it's going to have to rely on Neptune.
Where are you pathing in at? And that team's the last one to spawn, coming out. 3 seconds for somebody to touch. Ship is going to make it in. Sound barrier out from Redbird. Iron shoved somebody way into the back. The rest of Reiner and company push forward, clean up the members of Drifters who were trying to emerge from the choke. Redbird will take our opening round, 151.
Tank line dominance is the tenor of the day so far. Reiner and Iron just clamping down the spaces that Drifter are trying to take, and I think we're going to get a steady diet of that. I do get my wish fulfilled, though. We do get to go to Sanctuary, and Wrecking Balls should be the flavor of the day here coming out from them. I'd love to see Hydron get the early teleport out and then swap over to a Tracer. That's what I would expect to come out here. UV, though. Let's talk about the Zen. Bloodthirsty supports, a little bit greedy backline, but I don't hate it because Luke Mino gets that Inspire up in a quickness and will help close the gap on the rock and roll composition out of Drifters.
And Bloodthirsty is absolutely the word for Ultraviolet on that Zen. Was not afraid to get aggressive, to press the issue, to take duels against DPS. UV can do it all and do it with style. A duel between Sam and Chopper on the outside by Mega so far. Discord onto Chopper. Sam finishes it off. Quick pick coming through for Redbird. Now they're free to move down, surround the remaining members of Drifters. Chime in a bit of trouble, not able to quite find the angle they're looking for, and Drifters are feeling a little claustrophobic. Chime eventually does get pounced upon, finished off. Great focus fire coming through from Redbird as they grab first control.
Yeah, and look at that ult charge for Hydron so far. I mean, this young player, you said it in the beginning, they're going to get signed to an OWL team in the near future because they are just absolutely filthy on the hit scan characters. I love the tracer play out of them. So, looking at what we're seeing from Drifters, though, I mean, they have the tools to really take this to Redbird Esports, especially if you can get Iron out of the picture. Ship should have a good opportunity to get those hyperspheres working.
I mean, just to put that in perspective, American Tornado beat British Hurricane in the Gauntlet Show match. And obviously that roster of British Hurricane is now London Spitfire, who are a T1 team. Yeah, they struggled a little bit this year, but American Tornado took that team down, and it's with skill of Hydron, things like that right there. Moving in, handedly winning that duel against Chopper, finishing off Crimson as well. Hydron putting on a show, has a pulse bomb to use at their leisure.
Yeah, I love this set of mines coming out here, denying the choke as well, putting Ship into a very bad situation where Riders can be taken out in a quickness. Discord Orb showing up good for the other side, Jeff. Drifters might have a chance to really push them on these push.
Pulse Bomb hits nothing but a shield. UV's going to go ahead and throw on the Transcendent, able to get aggressive with Ship off the table. They knew there wasn't a flex to worry about. Sam with a beautiful shot. My goodness. Poor Omnic of Yamitra didn't stand a chance, neither did Chime. Now looking to finish off Chopper, but here comes Crimson rolling in. Trying to distract a little bit, get in a position to find a touch here, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, the Dragons probably going to be used just to zone off the point, maybe split up Drifters. Chime, though, close to the tack visor. You might find some vulnerability in the backline and Hydrant.
This could be an opportunity here for Drifters. There's the Transcendence. It's going to help survive Dragons. Ship needs to stay alive, needs to find value with this Flux. Neptune going down is detrimental, though. Not only are they now relying purely on Zenyatta healing, which is off the table, courtesy of Sam, but there was a rally available as well that they're not going to get to use to start this fight. Yeah, Drifters do manage to get a flip in, courtesy of that Gravitic Flux, but it's not going to last long. Redbird survived the torrent, find the picks. Now they've got the objective right on back. And this is going to be a 2-0 on Busan. Redbird have yet to drop a map in Contenders Trials.
Oh, I think we're going to get a steady diet of this all day long. The tank line of Reiner and Iron absolutely locking down space. And that is the tenor of what we're going to see out of Redbird all day long. And then we'll look at Sam and Hydran on the flanks. Luke Mito and Ultraviolet aren't feeling any pressure right now. So I think if you're Drifters, you got to look at taking the supports down. Otherwise, it's going to be a very easy day for Redbird Esports.
Well, and I was talking about, we're kind of getting the beta preview of this Redbird Esports squad. And right now, I don't see a whole lot of bugs in this build. It looks to be a rock solid build. Not many glitches in the crew as they look to continue their perfect sweep through trials. It is Drifters map pick. But you know what? I mean, this is, you just go to something comfortable. Go to something that you've practiced, that you've rehearsed. You can't be trying to prod for weaknesses in this Redbird squad. You got to stick to what you do well.
Yeah, I think that, I think Kings Row should not be a place where they want to go. I think you need to go somewhere out of, more out of Redbird Esports' comfort zone and more into your own comfort zone.
Exactly.
But Kings Row cannot be the place that they want to go. I don't care how comfortable you are on that map. That is going to be Redbird's playground if you go there.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. And I could get confirmation on this. And in fact, I'd say, let's just have a little confidence in ourselves. Never doubt yourselves, friends. Never doubt yourself. And what I was doubting is our map order. But in trials, you can choose between the remaining 3 types for map 2, 3, and 4. So Drifters aren't restricted to only hybrid. Although it does look like we are going to get a hybrid map for map number 2. We are headed to Africa. We're headed to Numbani, an interesting choice. One of my favorites of the hybrid maps.
Boy, what am I looking for here? It depends on who's on attack and defense, obviously. But I tell you what, if Drifters are coming out on the defense, I'm going to be looking for a Torbjorn coming out on the defense to counter what I would expect out of Sam, which will be the Echo. Because Sam has one of the filthiest echoes in tier 2, just putting that out there right now. And then Hydran will be able to do whatever they want to do, whether it be the Sombra or you want to pull out the Tracer again. You can pull out anything in the arsenal there. You can even pull out, lock in the legs there. I love Hydran on the legs here on Numbani. So I think Sam will be the catalyst through which all things go through here as far as an attack for Redbird Esports. Drifters, they're gonna. I'm expect them to pull out the double shield defense here. I want to see Crimson and Ship go Orisa and Sigma and really lock down. Maybe bring out an answering Sombra of their own to either hack down one of those shields, or be able to decide where they want to go and hack on that.
The anti-dive might be a good way to go as well. I like the idea of bringing out the Orisa from Drifters, particularly on the defense, but perhaps couple it with the Torbjorn and a Diva and get that kind of anti-dive composition that we've seen start to make its way into the meta. Could be a good bet to try to deny Redbird's attack. So, but hey, time will tell. Exactly what Drifters want to pull out. It's hard to speculate too much. What we do know about Numbani is the high ground is going to be important, particularly on point A. Such a unique objective, this point A on Numbani. And if Drifters can just buy themselves some time, if they can hold for 3 minutes on point A, they'll really start the map off right. But we aren't getting the side swap at all, Drifters. We're going to have to shut off on the attack. Redbirds will set the stage on the defense. And we'll see exactly how they want to play it. I imagine it'll be a traditional hold up on that high ground.
Yeah, I mean, you could go complete dive here and get the cleave damage of a Winston going in through it, and that's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they're bringing out the ultraviolet Ana. We talk about the Zenyatta. A lot of times we talk about the Baptiste a lot, but the Ana is the underrated hero that ultraviolet brings to this squad. We do see Sam bringing out that classic signature Echo and Hydran on the Tracer. So there's going to be a lot of anti-dive going on here. And Hydran has been very bloodthirsty all day so far. I don't expect that to swap. You've got two different targets here for Drifters Neptune, though, with the Echo and with the Ash. So, 195 DPS with the aim down sights could take Hydran out of the fight in a hurry.
Hydron's tough to lock down, though. Just an absolute joy to watch on this Tracer. As is Sam on the Echo, certainly, no doubt. As you can see, the tanks of Redbirds sitting up on this high ground. Drifters, they're going to go ahead and push up, sending Chime around coast side to try to put the pressure in from the back line. Has Neptune with them, keeping them topped off. The double shield of Crimson and Ship do emerge, and Reiner goes down to as low as 31 health before finally dropping off. Doing a great job of towing that line, of building enough ult charge for Ultraviolet while managing to stay in the fight. But Redbird are going to have to defend from a 5v6 position, losing Sam already. Iron doing a little poking and prodding. Redbird just trying to build up this nano, but they've lost Hydran as well. Drifter's off to a great start here, Billy.
This is a fantastic start, and the window coming out as well. That's going to provide them space. It's going to buy them positioning in line of sight as well.
Yeah, with that hit matrix, they managed to get the kill onto UV. That's a +3 overall. Not currently in the fight, but the number of eliminations Drifters have found. Looking for a fourth, and a surprising start from Drifters. I love their composure. I love their patience, and they're being rewarded for that patience right now as they get the tap.
Yeah, and I mean, Chopper's doing this all without the Mercy assist as well. So, I mean, that's point A. 5 minutes on the clock for the second phase of Numbani here, and they've got a beautiful ult rotation coming through. They're going to have 5 going into this next fight.
Including that Gravitic Flux, and then the Supercharger to follow it up. So we'll be looking for Ship to try to lock down some members, preferably the support line, but Redbird have support ults coming online.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking for Ultraviolet to really enable Reiner here with the Primal in hand to be able to go and get massive down.
There it is, but the Flux comes through onto the nanoed Winston. Reiner, not dissuaded, is just going to pop the Primal Rage, go dive into the back, pick up the kill onto Chopper while Iron deals with the front line of Crimson. Drifters have been cleaved in two, and Reiner smashes down the back end.
Really, I mean, 2 ultimates into that fight. Hydran threw away a bolt bomb, didn't get much value out of it. Still, the Nano Monkey always will win you a fight, especially with the cleanup that you see coming from all the team there.
So tough.
They still have superchargers.
They do, and in fact, they're going to go ahead and invest that one now to try to buy them this initial space, but holy cow! Iron finds both tanks! How do you... It's a double shield composition! How do you find both tanks with the self-destruct? I don't believe it! Sam's going to go in and throw in the duplicate while they're in it just for good measure.
Oh, and getting their opposite, and time goes down at a heat. Now they've got him in a corner here, and they're not...
Gold star.
Oh, no, yeah. Gold star. Hello, that's just beautiful work out of them. And now the spawn camp is on. Swaps coming out from Drifter's ship, going over to the Diva to mitigate some more damage. I like the fact that they were wrecking the true double shield there, but got to be able to get to this high ground.
The Redbird were getting a little lax there in their point A defense. Drifters took that one, poked the bear, and Redbird shifted that gear knob up into 6th with a hurry. They just skipped 3rd through 5th, by the way. They just went from 2nd gear right on up into 6th. Now another nano boost out from UV, who's under a lot of pressure. Nah, you don't need any pale. Just throw out a killer sleep dart. Reiner's in the back line, takes out Crimson with that nano boost. Nice shot. Nice pair of shots. Chopper coming alive. Picks up a 3K, looking for the 4th onto Hydron. Chime's going to go ahead and duplicate into a Tracer. Picks up the kill on the Lumino. The DPS duo Drifters refuse to go down without a fight.
No, they're not done yet, and Chime is still getting the work done. Pulse Bomb in hand, are they going to be able to find the stick target?
Well done.
Beautiful work out of Drifters there, and they're going to get some good cart push here. Bob is also going to be available into this fight, so that could get them a little bit more push, a little bit more presence on the cart. Sam's going to keep their head on a swivel here.
Crimson taking the high ground. Sam 75% towards that next duplicate. Can't really approach. Not without the tanks going in first. There they go. Reiner has the primal, immediately takes down Neptune. Now chasing Chime through the air. Holy cow! Reiner just bats Chime to the ground, turns around, punches Mitra right in the face. Reiner, oh, I applaud you, my friend.
Reiner doing Reiner things.
What a play.
That was a work of art. I gotta say, that's just beautiful work out of them. And Ultraviolet almost has another nano. This will be the 4th nano here in Numbani. Iron, I want to see where you go with this next self-destruct. You got massive value out of the last one.
Self-destruct coming in. Nano boost on to Reiner as Redbird get aggressive yet again. Dimitra has to use that immortality field on themselves, but escapes with that 10% health. That's 20 health left. Easy pickets for Iron to finish off. Reiner had started. Now Chopper's caught between the Tesla cannon and a hard place. Actually finds that kill before Iron finishes them off. But Drifters just have no room to work.
No, and I mean, it's about the support play right now. Ultraviolet is just keeping this team up with a beautiful set of skills there. I'm just flabbergasted at how good the Ultraviolet Ana is. I mentioned that it was underrated. I didn't know it was that underrated. However,
oh yeah,
Drifters has double support ultimates going into this next fight. Chime needs to get some serious value in this next week.
I mean, the only reason Hydron and UV are not an owl, at least by my humble opinion, is that they're only 17. If they were 18 years old, they wouldn't be playing for Illinois State University right now, Redbird Esports. They'd be playing on an owl team. That's how good UV and Hydron are. Reiner right up there with them. Takes down, Dimitri gets rezzed up, is right back in this fight. Trying to turn it around. Takes UV down. Bulk of the healing gone. Has Duke that online. Chooses the Diva, pushing out against Reiner. Trying to hold the line. A little bit of a back cap going on, but it's not going to last long. Chime's going to throw down a self-destruct. Has to get to that objective. Overtime, Wick is burning, and that bar will not stay alive long. There goes ship out of the pilot Diva form. That tune coming in to touch, but this is a foregone conclusion. This objective will not make it past Green Bus.
Nope, absolutely not. And it's all done over about the crying right now. Sam just doing Sam things again. 3K to finish out the attack phase for Drifters. So we've got a win condition set here for Redbird Esports. They do give up point A and halfway through the streets of Numbani. So let's see what Drifters are going to do to counteract this high-octane team of Redbird Esports. on their defensive phase. I expect to see double shield come out here for first point. You know, I didn't get to see the Torbjorn on their attack, so maybe we'll see it come out on the defense, because that'll definitely make Sam consider their choices going into the first point here. I think Sam may have really stolen the thunder out of Hydran, though, getting so much value on that Echo. Ultraviolet, though, just absolute beautiful play.
Sam had some of this old Glenwells, had that legendary organic oil 2030. 2030 was a great year for oil, in case you were wondering. Sam had plenty of it. Feeling nice and primed, no rust at all. And Sam's gameplay coming through, showing us the Echo right now, but still roughly 15 seconds to change their mind. Drifters are gonna put ship onto this Diva, coming in on the defense. I imagine they're gonna hold high ground. We're looking at the Cowboy and the Tracer here to put the hurt down for Drifters on the D. Hey, I still stand by. If they can hold for 3 minutes, they'll put themselves in a good spot. That's the number I'm looking for, Billy.
Yeah, I think that if Chopper can deal with Reiner, get the flashbang in on the Winston, and deny the escapability of the Winston, I think that's where they win this out. But you know, you've got to watch your Sam on these flank routes, because just getting the value of the sticky bombs landing, so much to deal with for Ship.
It really is. It's an overwhelming amount for Ship to have to deal with. And you can see both supports, there's not enough fuel. And it's not Ship's fault. That's just the overwhelming pressure brought on by Redbird Esports. And that's going to be a one and done, as Avril would say. Moving in, one fight engagement, 1 point picked up here for Redbird. Might be time for a re-engage, but those are some late kills.
I don't know. With Reiner and Hydran going forward here, I don't think that they're going to even have a chance to sniff at it.
They're not going to try.
Yeah, I mean, that would be foolhardy at the best. So look at Reiner already claiming high ground here. This is the intelligence of this main tank player, knowing where he can go and being able to deny the corner from Drifters. This is going to be a lot of free cart push.
And Reiner now has a nano boost to boot. Going in after the supports once again. Great focus fire, though. Reiner got a little bit outside of his bubble. It's taking him down. Chopper, well, managed to get one with the dead eye before getting blown up. Sam, similar result. UV is back in this fight, and Redbird, well, they have that mentality that a lot of championship teams have. Always winnable. Doesn't matter how much green you see on the right side of the kill feed, Redbird are not going to stop. They are shouting winnable every step of the way, and right now it's Ship under their targets. And look at this, they're pushed all the way to the back of point B. The box of victory is just around the corner from Green Bus. Whew. Oh, there you go. 2 kills on the board. Ship does have a self-destruct, which I imagine they're just going to use from Remech. Try to get that extra 600 of active health. Chime trying to stall out right now, buy some time for the rest of the team to come back in. Nice bomb! Sam and Lugnino taken out of the sky. Ship might have just bought them a lifeline.
No, I mean, it's a little late for that lifeline. I mean, Raleigh might be able to keep them into this next fight.
Yeah.
But Ultraviolet does have Nano going into this.
Supercharger available for Crimson as well in this 4v4 that is about to unfold. Redbird not even taking it. They're going to go ahead and back out in reserve.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to wait, and I think it's a smart disengage there. They'll probably put this Nano on Team Reiner and let them get a little crazy with the test cannon.
That's exactly right, and they waste no time doing it. Unfortunately, they lose Hydran on the approach. Supercharger was out. Nice anti-nade from UV, and Crimson falls. The front line is gone. Nothing left to protect against the onslaught. UV continues to put in work with Chime! Chime, you kidding me? Finds both supports! Chime, the hero of Drifters right now!
Oh my goodness, what a stick, and accidentally walked back into Luke Vito there. Oh my goodness, that's a very unfortunate thing for them to go into. The Crimson and company are starting to come alive here, bringing out the Wrecking Ball, and they've turned this fight to their favor. Less than half a meter to go.
Oh, I mean, what a pulse. Chime just saves the day. Reiner, feeling a bit bold, dives in by themselves with the Primal Rage. Was hoping to find an early pick on a support, I suppose, but there's none to be found. Self-destruct now into the back. Everybody is able to get in behind safety. Ship does get demexed by that. Reiner finishes off the pilot. Deadeye coming in. Nice pile drive. Almost knocked 3 into Chopper's LOS. Does manage to get that demech onto Iron. Both teams missing their divas at the moment. Chime trying to work around, keep pressure on the outside, in a bit of a duel with Hydron right now. Lumino in a lot of trouble, eats a flashbang, eats a shot, while Chime chases Hydron all the way back out to the mini of Rhino. Really putting it to Hydron right now. The Nano Boost goes on to Sam. Hydron is eventually win that duel at Rhino. Sam gonna try to build up towards the rest of that duplicate while Chopper picks up both supports. Once again, Redbird getting so aggressive that they leave their supports out to drive. This time it doesn't matter. They're able to finish off this insanely scrappy fight. Redbird moving up 2-0 in this series. But man, Drifters really made them work for it.
They really did. And I mean, signs of life coming out from Drifters there. I'm loving that we're seeing the fight come out from them. I mean, that was a very competitive round of Numbani, and full credit to them. I thought they had the skill, the time to really turn it around, but there was just too much pressure from the front line once again of Redbird. They got in there and just started cleaving away. Chopper and Chime they just didn't have enough time. I thought they had it. I thought they had it.
Well, speaking of time, you've got time to go hydrate, but don't go far when we come back. Map 3 between Redbird Esports and Drifters. We'll see in a moment. It is time for map number 3. Drifters putting up one heck of a fight. I like what I'm seeing from them here today. Still not enough to take a map off of Redbird, who have now won 8 straight through trials, as anticipated. I think anything less from this squad would be a little disappointing, frankly. But hey, it's Drifters map pick. They've got another chance to defy all expectations. And it looks like they're taking us, well, to Havana for map number.
Well, help no bad back alley cigar deals go down here today, as I've been known to mention before here in Havana. But I tell you what, the DPS duo really coming alive here for Redbird Esports, and man, I feel like it's an honor to get to cast this because we're seeing the genesis of what the collegiate scene is going to be this year. And man, Drifters are just up against it. I hope that they can, replicate what they did on Second Point of Numbani and really take it to Redbird Esports, because if they do that, I think we have ourselves a match here. I don't anticipate, if we have a side swap here, I don't anticipate a close hold. So it sounds like we're going to have Drifters on the attack first. So I'm going to see, are they going to be able to close hold Redbird Esports, if they're on the defense? I want to see if they're going to do the close hold, or if they're actually going to give a little bit of room to allow Drifters to come out and hold them at first corner.
Given what we've seen for their penchant for the Orisa, I imagine we're going to get a double shield defense, which means they'll most likely sit back and try to hold first corner or hold high ground, or some sort of combination thereof. You run double shield. You could put a hit scan with your supports up top, or both hit scans with your Sigma up top, and leave your supports on the ground with the Orisa. I anticipate some sort of variation of that. But, I mean, I also say, you're talking about the DPS of Redbird. The DPS of Drifters really had some star moments during that last map, and it came down to point A. If they had a better point A, like I was talking about, I think they would have had enough to hold them back to Green Bus, because they made Redbird Sports work for that point B and really showed some signs of life. I'm anxious to get in this map and see how map 3 plays out. I anticipate we'll get a lot of the Orisa on this map. Just such big sightlines to work with.
And I'm expecting Ship to come out on the Sigma and get that shooting blind that I call when you throw the experimental barrier up there in front of the Ash. Damage boosted Ash with that experimental barrier. You're going to have the great sightlines down there along the first point, down that long avenue towards the Tyler Tobaccory. So, we'll see what they can bring out here. That might be their avenue to stopping this juggernaut that is Redbird Esports.
I also anticipate Redbird might go back into a little bit more serious mode. I think we were seeing them kind of play a little bit of individual playmaker on that last map. We saw Reiner diving in with Primal Rage kind of by themselves. We saw Hydron taking little one-on-one duels. This is not normal for this squad. The squad knows exactly how to push their limits, what they can get away with, and I think they were having a little bit of fun. That's why that second map drew out for as long as it did. I don't think they were taking second point as seriously. Once they got point A as quick as they did, they put it into sixth gear and got angry, and then just kind of started having a little bit of fun with it. Now, I anticipate we'll see them go back into full sixth gear and close this thing out.
Yeah, I expect the same thing as well, my friend. And, we'll see what they're going to go ahead and bring out here. There's our nodding pigeons. What up?
I feel like this is us personified right now, Billy.
Mine. That's the...
Yep. I would be the one on the right. You're 6 inches taller, so the taller pigeon would be you. I'm kind of looking around like, hey, where are all my breadcrumbs? Where are my breadcrumbs? I don't see my breadcrumbs.
They call me a chef for a reason.
Yes. You cook up the best breadcrumbs, Billy.
I do. I got the breadcrumbs. I eat the breadcrumbs too. I like the breadcrumbs.
I love Pigeon Cam. Anyway, we got distracted.
Yeah, look at that rock and roll coming out here for the tank line for the defense of Redbird Esports. Hydron, Drifters, you better have your head on a swivel, because Hydron is absolutely lethal with the Widowmaker. We all know this. We saw it in Contenders. Just absolutely closing out on that. There it is out the gate.
Oh, fantastic headshots aside. This is a completely different look from Redbird Esports on the defense that we saw yesterday. So if this is one of the amazing strengths of this team, is they're incredibly versatile and really adept at all types of compositions. So if you scouted this squad and watched them pull out double shield yesterday, now you come back and they're running something a little bit different, though they do have the double sniper, and obviously Hydron very proficient with the Widowmaker.
Sam is no slack on the Hanzo as well. So using the Sonic Arrow to get the vision out there, know where they're progressing from. I'm really looking for Iron to close down this angle here coming in from Drifters, but Reiner, sneaky wrecking ball.
Chopper taken down by UV, who was the one person pushing cart. Drifters have rotated through the post office and are trying to find some room to work. They didn't want to sit in front of the sight lines with that double sniper, but Yamitra does eventually find themselves in Sam's crosshair. The arrow lands right between the eyes. Baptiste off the battlefield means there's no sustain for the tanks. It means Drifters have to back out.
Look at this sight line coming in from Hydran, Jeff. This is absolutely disgusting. They can't have any idea he's there.
That is nasty. Chopper managed to take Reiner down, though. It's a good start. Redbird will continue to fight this out. Like I said, doesn't matter. They will always call it winnable. They rarely soft reset. Why would you with DPS like that? Sam picking up yet another kill as the double snipers continue to make life difficult. And they can just command so much space just by the threat of those two snipers. Now you've got the infrasight out. Here comes the flux from Iron.
Oh!
Hydron does fall, but Chip is smashed down to the ground by that gravitic flux. Reiner off the battlefield as well, as the DPS from Drifters are going to have to carry this through, putting in work just like we saw in map 2. Oh, but Ultraviolet.
The trades back and forth, Jeff, these are absolutely disgusting. And I tell you what, Iron holding their own against the DPS onslaught of Drifters. Repack of Ultimates ready to go for Drifters. Save on the field for Redbird Esports. Looking for a great set of dragons here.
Yep, just going to plow right on through the post office, try to force the members out into the sides of the double snipers. Down low, Iron had to get an immortality field. Ultraviolet picks up 2. Oh, man, this is a triple DPS cop. It's UV on the Zenyatta. Finding 2 picks, make that 3, saving everybody's life with the Transcendence. Oh my goodness, what a play. And UV knows that Flux is coming online. UV doesn't care.
60 seconds.
UV doing UV things. And
No Flux given.
Yeah, no, I see what you did there. I mean, I'm looking for Luke Mino, during this Flux, get that immortality barrier out. Here's that disgusting angle once again, but gets spotted out by Neptune.
Yeah, they're wise to Hydron's ways. It doesn't mean they can necessarily stop it. It's going to get to another good shot from Chopper to try to shut down Hydron on the sniper. Sam sitting behind Truck, putting a world of damage into his ship, who's going to go ahead and drop down that gravitic flux. Flux lands on Luke Mino, a great target. The immortality field is out. Crimson trying to go finish him off. Luke Mino is eventually going to fall as the Flux favor is returned by Iron. And that's going to be enough as Hydron and UV clean up the fight.
Oh, God, Sam. Chopper does have a family, and you just made them cry. So, I mean, looking now, sub 10 seconds, this might be last fight.
And Crimson is down. Oh, no. Means it's up to shift to sacrifice their mech to go initiate the overtime. And now, I mean, Chopper, Neptune, and Yamitra have to get something done. I mean, what a tall order. What a tall ask. It just won't be done. I mean, you want to touch the point, you got to pay the piper. And Redbird Esports exact a heavy toll.
Aye. That is clinical out of Redbird Esports on the defense there. I mean, I tell you what, Ultraviolet is probably the most bloodthirsty Zenyatta I've seen in many a Overwatch game. And yeah, they've got to deal with 3 DPS because Ultraviolet ain't caring about healing other than the Transcendence when they need to. They're worried about landing those orbs on your dome, and they showed it time and time again. So, I mean, this is match point for Redbird Esports. Not an unexpected result so far. I just did not expect it to be that dominant. My goodness, Redbird Esports are on a roll, and as we can see, our cousins. I'm going to call that Airborne, Ocean, and Big Hungry Phil fighting over the pastry here.
Gotta love Pigeon Cam. But I mean, Redbird Esports closing this one out with some style, no doubt, as anticipated. I didn't think they were going to give up this point. And Ultraviolet, man, what an impressive Zenyatta. So aggressive, such a threat. It's you take your eyes off of the Zenyatta for a moment, and UV kills half your team.
Yep, Pig's Feet seems to be the flavor of the tank line here. Running with a Junkrat and Hydra back on the Widow. Oh, dear Lord. They're going to try the close hold.
Yeah, but Reiner's going to come out here and look for these hooks to try to shut it down. Reiner pulled out the hog yesterday on this map. I think it was on this map. Either way, pulled out the hog and managed to find a number of kills. Sam going in on the Doom. He's managed to assist in 1 kill before going down, but all these trades just going to favor Redbird Esports. Just Drifter sacrificing bodies, trying to buy time.
Yeah, this should be done and dusted here. It might be able to get back. Nope. I thought they were going to be able to get back into the mech, but Sam says, nay, you're done. Go back to spawn. This should be easy first corner here for Redbird Esports.
Yeah, and you've got Hydron going to set up shop down this straight. Put sights all the way down to that alley. Knows where they're coming from, as anticipated. Ooh, almost got Neptune. Oh, man, what a tricky shot. That was so close, a millimeter from landing. But there's Reiner picking off the most important target they could find. Chopper now out of the fight, not even halfway to Blade. You got ult coming online for Redbird Esports. May not even need him. Sam's going to go in, pick up a pair, finishes off, ship out of the mech. It's just Neptune keeping Redbird from finishing up the map, finishing up the series. There we go. They're gonna have a little bit of fun, but not too much. They go ahead and push it on home, complete the 3-0 sweep, and continue their perfect run through Contenders Trials North America.
And unfortunately, that means Drifters are out of contention to get into Contenders with that loss. It also secures the Contender spot for Drifters with that win. So both ends of the spectrums here for both teams. Not an unexpected result. Coming out from Redbird Esports, that was pretty dominant there on the last map. But
I will say, the result is how we expected it, but the way it happened wasn't. Drifters, particularly on Numbani, really came out firing on all cylinders. And I was impressed with the fight they put up. This is their toughest opponent of the week. And, I mean, came out with a good showing. I mean, hats off to them. I mean, can walk away with heads held high that they were able to put up as good a resistance, as I suppose, as they did.
Yeah, I think that this will let them, get a little bit of traction underneath them moving forward with their final 2 matches.
Yeah,
maybe they can go 2 and 3. Stranger things have happened. I think this should give them a feather in their cap. I think that should give them a little bit of motivation to close out their trials on a high note.
But speaking of high notes, Redbird certainly on one now, and we anticipate that won't stop anytime soon. We're going to get to talk with one of their DPS players. We're going to get Sam in here, have a little post-match interview. Y'all stick around. We're going to take a quick break, get that set up. We'll see you back here for the interview in just a moment. We are here with Sam, DPS extraordinaire from Redbird Esports. Congratulations on yet another win. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into the interview, friends at home, just want to let you know Sam is in the room at Illinois State with the rest of the team. So forgive the background noise, but they're celebrating this wonderful victory here today. Sam, what has it been like integrating with your longtime rivals of American Tornado?
It's been fun. A lot of people don't know that, or I'm sure a lot of people do know, but we're just 6 friends, you know. So the rivalry didn't really impact much. We came in here as like one team, so.
It was a competitive rivalry, but as soon as Redbird was formed, all that went out the window.
Yeah, for sure.
And is
obviously
synergy...
it's brought up. It's brought up sometimes in like trash talk, but like nothing, you know, crazy. But.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What steps have y'all taken to build the synergy between the squad? It looks pretty seamless from our end.
We actually hadn't much scrim time, so we've just kind of been winging it. But we're hoping to be a lot better before Contender starts.
That's
fair enough.
Scary. That's scary that you're just winging it. Yikes! I'm scared for your final form. I gotta ask you, because this is kind of what I've been honing in on, talking to your head coach Flutie. What is it like going into the collegiate scene? You guys are on campus now. You guys are college students. Hello, this is amazing for you guys and for our tier 2 scene. What's it like being a Redbird now?
You know, a lot of people think it's like a huge difference from high school, but I mean, you usually have more like time in college and stuff and more free time. It's just about time management, you know, showing up to your classes. So for a lot of the boys, it's not too much different. Some are saying it's easier, some are a little, you know, crowded with like work, but it's nothing I don't think we can't handle. And then usually after like 4 is like practice time, like dedicated to practice time. We'll at least set aside like a couple hours. So yeah, it's just like working with the schedule, working with what we got, what we can't do, and stuff like that.
Awesome.
My next question is kind of a 2-parter. So what are the expectations for this team moving forward, as far as looking long term, moving into Contenders season and beyond? And how do you think this is going to affect the lines between collegiate Overwatch and T2 Overwatch? It seems like those lines are blurring more and more.
You know, I think the expectations is like we're gonna prove we're a top tier team. Definitely, like I think all 6 of these players by the end of the semester can like prove that we're definitely OWL. You know, we can definitely compete in OWL and compete with the players up there.
Won't get anything from me.
Yeah, and for collegiate scenes, I think it's really just like letting it have time to grow. So I think that's what it's like most important about. It's obviously not just gonna come out all in one moment, right?
Sure. Well, fantastic. All right, thank you so much for joining us. You got any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Shout out to Chopper. He's kind of dominating Hydron.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Hydron, you got to step it up before tomorrow. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. All right, thank you so much, Sam.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of the week. We'll see you in Contenders.
Yeah, you have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, what a fantastic interview. What a fantastic young man. College boy now. All of them college boys. I'm so proud to see the growth of the collegiate scene. They're going to be representing the Missouri Valley Conference in their esports career. I live in the Missouri Valley Conference, so I might get a chance to see them go up against one of the colleges here around me. So that might even be an extra special bonus for me. That's just going to kind of flex that out there just a little bit.
Hey, and everybody at home can keep an eye out for them, not only through the rest of the week here in Contenders trial on Monkey Bubble Reflash, but, you know, in the collegiate scene and then moving on to Contenders as well. But that's going to finish our first match. We still got some more action coming at you when we return. Noble taking on Wisp, 2 tie teams looking to take the edge. We're going to get that set up, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes. Oh, welcome back, friends. It's time for our second series of the day. We're heading in with Noble taking on Wisp. Both these teams 1-1 in the standings. Both these teams with a 0 map differential, looking to break the stalemate here today.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to come down to who's going to get into contenders. There's 3 squads. Avidity actually has a 3-point advantage over the 5th place team right now. So, I mean, there are 3 map points between 2nd and 5th. It's all to play for right now.
All 4 teams 1-1, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they're all 1-1. There's a +2 advantage to Avidity. As you mentioned, Wisp and Noble both on a 0 map differential. And then there is a -1 to... Who am I forgetting?
Dice
Gaming.
Yeah.
So
well, okay, and here's a caveat there. There's an asterisk on that, and that is Wisp and Dice have both played Redbird Esports already.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just an automatic loss. Let's just be real, friends. That's just an auto 1 into your loss column. So, Noble and Avidity still need to play Redbird Esports. So, you got to take that into account. Noble need this win. That's what I'm getting at right now. Noble need this win.
They absolutely do. And I tell you what, Wisp bring out what we call the perpetual bench warmer from previous competitions in Malful. Malful has come out and shown up massive here in Contenders Trials. I am so proud to see this player finally getting a chance to shine, not being the perpetual interviewee. They always threw him into interviews a lot of the times because he didn't get to play. So now we get to see him on the stage. And I mean, he's been really showing up here. Big pickup for Wisp.
Mothel's been popping off, no doubt. And I anticipate will be a big point, a big talking point for us heading into this series. But my focus, I got to be honest, my focus is on these tanks. You've got Noble. Okay, let's time for a history lesson here, friends. Noble is basically the reincarnation of Revival that we saw earlier in the year. Revival that took first place over American Tornado, mind you, back in March in season 1 of Contenders. Now they kind of, we'll say rebranded. It shifted into Noble. We saw this squad in season 2 of Contenders, but they had Gig at the helm. Gig is no longer with the squad. LH Cloudy is back, leading this team in their brawl compositions with his trademark aggression. And that's what we've seen so far. But you said that they might bring out something different here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking with Jennifer, the manager of Noble. Cloudy's been working on things other than Reinhardt. Big shocker to the community because it's Ryan all the time, lick the spawn door, all that. And
lick it.
Taste it. Get that gold star. But seriously, he's been working on Orisa and working on Wrecking Ball as well, and a little bit of Winston in there. We saw a little bit of Winston coming out for them earlier in the week. So, not insta-locking the Rhine all the time. Now, we might be able to see a little bit of the variation and the growth of LH Cloudy in the main tank department.
Well, let's take a look at our map pool today and set the stage for where we might see this new look coming out from LH Cloudy. It's going to be Busan. Once again, this is a fixed map for all of today's matches. This is our final of our 4, counting EU as well. We'll be loser pick from there in our first of 3 series. And back to our previous point, I think this will be a great series to try to test the adaptability, the versatility of LH Cloudy and the rest of Noble, because Wisp, they are highly versatile. You've got Doge the charge with Cry backing them up, and Doge, I mean, and just in yesterday's matchup alone, we saw Doge play all 4 main tanks and do them all well.
Did it at a very high level. We got to mention that Kim's sons are in here for Wisp and picking up Rocket from Drifters. You know, we were talking about the last minute roster. They said go find a team. Well, Rocket found a team in Wisp and puts our good friend Doom Gadoa on the bench. Maybe. We'll see if there's going to be any kind of shifts in the DPS for Wisp, but Doom Godot is sitting on the bench right now. But Rack Attack and Doge, the brothers of the Rack family, let me tell you what, they are very well versed in their roles. And Doge, as you mentioned, has the versatility in main tank. Crawley has a very sick Sigma as well. So I'm looking for the battle of the tanks. Who is going to have the more dominant tank line? That's what I'm looking at here out the gate.
I mean, and Wisp do have that rack buff. I'm anticipating the Rack family's probably in chat right now. Big shout out to y'all if you are. The love and support coming from the families is always so heartwarming to see. Rack Attack coming out on the Mercy to support Mathel, who's taken to the skies. Doge and Crowley with Wrecking Ball and Devo, respectively. So looking go highly mobile. So far, no changes, nothing unexpected from Noble. They're going to stick with the Ice Cowboy, the McFlurry Brawl, daring anybody to get close.
Well, Icy has been landing some serious self-destructs throughout the entirety of this Trials season. I expect the same thing coming out today.
Oh, it's some cool tech coming out of Doge with that pile driver. Already built up nearly 40% towards the mines, and Noble are just falling back into the cubby. They can't hang out in there long, or Wisper's just going to surround them and pound them with rockets. But Doge gets a little too close to the death ball, gets focused down. It's exactly what Noble's looking for. They look for isolated targets, somebody they can separate from the pack, and now Crawley is in their sights. Cloudy with an ambitious pan forces Crowley to fall even further back.
Yep, and I think Nos right now is the linchpin for Noble, even though Aki on this May is going to prove to be a thorn in the side of Doge. Pulse Bomb already ready for Rocket, though. Let's see where they go with it.
Noble holding the high ground. Could be easy pickings. But Rocket does only have a couple ways to get in. I mean, you can, I believe, jump Blink onto this high ground. Might be able to stick the back line. I don't quite see Rocket on my screen right now. I do see Rockets flying in from above as Mathel has that barrage now online and ready to go. Looking to get clipped, does. Nos lands the Deadeye, perfectly placed, perfectly timed. Mathel gone. Valkyrie coming out as Rack is going to look for the Res. Res is successful, but in the interim, Rocket and Doge have fallen, and Rack sacrifices themselves to make that happen. Means Mathel just has to throw themselves onto the train tracks.
Yep, two different stories here. Support diff and tank diff. LH Cloudy and Icy are just commanding space right now. And then you're getting the healing production coming out of Lep and Big Floppa. That is a big difference right now in this first map.
I haven't seen a whole lot from Big Floppa prior to this. There's nothing name on the roster. I can take some guesses as to who it is, but I don't want to speculate. All I do know is Big Floppa has some killer aim. Seen them pop off a couple times already in trials, so Balfour's got to be careful. It's not just Nos looking to clip the wings. Backing up into the corner, self-destruct thrown out from both squads, as a matter of fact. Doge is able to follow up, pick up those kills. It was a self-destruct taking out the immortality field. Doge with the double. Cloudy! Oh, poor Cloudy got clipped by the train. Oh, man, you hate to see it if you're a fan of Noble, but what you do love to see is that 99% in their column.
Oh, my word. That was an attempted charge off there. And Doge just went, Olay! Goodbye. LH Cloudy getting the train to Busan and not the zombies don't need him.
Just got confirmation. Big Floppa is Rabdab is who I thought they were. So, a name we haven't seen around in quite some time. Rocket's going to go ahead and throw down that pulse bomb. Does draw out the immortality field, but doesn't get a whole lot else accomplished. Now, that could turn around and prove valuable as Malfo's 80% towards this rocket barrage and is going to avoid the Deadeye this time. Not getting anywhere near. Oh, I spoke too soon! Malfo, you had to peek that. Sticking their nose out, does get res. Same can't be said for Crawley's mech. Fortunately, Doge is able to come back in and get Big Floppa out of the fight, which means the sustain is just absent. Nothing to protect against the barrage that came out from Malfoy.
Yeah, and I mean, the res cannon and the serious work being put in by Malfoy has got to watch out for the aim of Rocket. Because Rocket is just cleaning up this point, and this is going to be another fight win. Shatter coming in for Noble, Jeff. I'm looking for Doge to lay down some zoning mines and Moser to hold them up if things get too hairy.
Yeah, if Moser can avoid the Shatter and get in and, get some Transcendence out, protect them from Cloudy's aggression. I mean, good start. Rocket able to find a pick. +1, and now Noble find themselves caught inside a theater. This is not a great place to be. Wisp is going to be able to surround him. Okay, they realize that they can't sit there long, and they back right on out and look for another path in.
Yeah, but 10%, they're going to have to really get onto this point in a hurry, and they've got all the ultimates to hold off Noble here on the first point.
Cloudy looking for a target. There's just nothing but mines in the way. Shatter does come out, doesn't find anything. Mojo is able to get the Transcendence up, I believe was the target of Cloudy's ultimate. Now Pulse Bomb out, but Cloudy was already dead. Moving in to follow it up. Beautiful flip onto Big. Floppa is going to go down. Mouthful circling around the outside. Wisp just swarmed this objective. Pick the death ball apart, and it falls apart at the seams. Just a little bit of cleanup from here, and Wisp will take our opening round.
Yep, Barrage ready to go. Are you going to let loose with it? Yes, you are. You're going to get the maximum value. That is a 99-0 turnaround, Jeff, and that is massive work coming out of Wisp on our first map. You know, I said there was a tank and support difference. Well, I am going to go ahead and eat my words now because they ran it the entirety of the time. I think it was just a matter of Rocket and Malful being able to find their targets and get their aim down. So as we head to Sanctuary, if we're going to see Rock and Roll come out here from Wisp, that's going to show up a little bit for Noble. But, Icy, they do have a pretty good Sigma as well. So Celtic Pride line coming out from Noble. Double shield, that's going to prove a little bit slow, but you do have Lep to get him in there on speed.
And, Noble likes to play fast. They're going to utilize that speed every chance they get. Now, that's Cry on the Sigma as well. This is going to be a great Sigma matchup. Cry versus Icy on the Dutch Scientist. This is going to be fantastic. I am just salivating in anticipation of those two clashing. Big rotation from Cloudy and company as they go all the way around back. Wisp completing the do-si-do, and it's a dance around the objective right now. Doge is looking for an opening in the back. Wisp decided to go ahead and hold their ground. No, they're going to try to rotate. It's a bit late, and they have to split up. It leaves Crawley out on their own, and they can take it down. Big Floppa landed in the shots. That accuracy coming true. Icy doing the same. Lands a pair of Hyperspheres. Supports are gone. Noble will pick up first control.
And a lot of that had to do with the turret of Aki. Aki was getting a lot of free value out of the turret, and you can see it in the ult charge coming up. So Rocket's going to have to either decide to change off of this tracer, or they're going to have to focus down the turret in a hurry. I think the double shield might be the way to go here for Noble. They're going to get a lot of free percentage going off this.
It's going to be tough for Wisp to move in, and they've got to be careful on their approach. You can see him trying to surround. You've got on the far left Doge. Rocket was right in the middle. Mouthful is on the right-hand side of your screen, and they're looking to surround this Celtic Pride composition. Icy finds themselves picked off. An opening has been found, and now Doge driving that wedge further apart. Finds that kill on the left. That's the speed gone. That precious speed that I was talking about, no longer available in this fight. Now Wisp coming in. Tac visor at the ready. Mine's not far behind. Malthus going to go ahead and drop that ultimate and just point blank sticks the barrel of the gun down Aki's throat. Nos finds some revenge, and here comes the Deadeye. On to the objective. Finds some skulls, doesn't find the kills. Mosier able to pick up left, as a matter of fact. It's the kills going for Wisp.
Wow, what a test there coming from Wisp. I mean, 64% gained by Noble on their first attempt or first hold of the point, but it cost Wisp a lot to get in there. It cost them both their DPS ultimates, and Aki has this Molten Core ready to go, so you might be able to cordon off the point and maybe catch Doge in it. That would be a sincere loss of life coming in to try and defend this first point.
It's not going to be easy, though. Doge is elusive on this ball. Very wise on how to maximize the maneuverability of the hamster. Oh, but does get stunned up. Can't avoid that one. Nos is able to get the flash fan down. Nathal on drum side, trying to put a lot of pressure in, is able to pick up Lep as the flux comes in from the other side. What? Wow, both supports get caught in that beautiful flux from Croy, and it's going to keep control of this objective.
Can we talk about the cojones of Rack Attack, please? Because he just went in balls to the wall and just got that res out onto on the Crowy or onto Malful. Man, that is serious work coming from the support line of Wisp, and they've got Transcendence to hold off this next fight.
Yeah, Rack Attack is no coward. That is for sure, Billy. No doubts there. All right, Icy coming back in is going to open things up with a flux of their own. That found both supports in the back, but Mosier has the Transcendence ready to go. Rocket and Malthul, meanwhile, trying to punch the DPS, and they find both of them, as a matter of fact. dropped a sound barrier, but I don't think it found a whole lot. It's not going to get much value. Noble, it's now or never. You either got to back out or stay alive, and it looks like they've done neither.
You saw Rocket looking to press Q there and get the pulse bomb in. Saw the gravitic kinetic grasp come out. Man, it didn't even have to do with the focus fire coming in from Wisp. They are closing in
Oh, what
all
an aggression.
sides. Wow.
Cloudy tried to get the touch in. Honestly, that may have been icy. I didn't see who made the swap onto the ball. Either way, it was Crawley with the creation that kept them from getting that touch in those final moments. Just a wonderful exclamation point on a great round for Wisp. And they're able to come back and take the map in a 2-0 fashion. And mind you, they didn't have first control on either of those rounds. First control, more often than not, wins a control round. It was not the case here today for Noble.
No, and that's a 2-0 taking of Busan to go up 1-0 in our series here. Reminder, these teams are completely even. Well, they were completely even. Now they're on +1 and -1 respectively. So Wisp has their nose out in front here on day 3 of Trials NA. So it's going to be Noble's map choice here. And I'm wondering where they're going to take us. I think that we're going to see Kings Row come out here from Noble because LH Cloudy,
Sure.
Reinhardt, perfect playground.
Kings
for
Row.
them. Yeah,
Like, that's just, you think of Reinhardt, you think of Kings Row. The map
think
was
of LH
designed for that hero. I mean, it's that way for a reason. The most popular, the most commonly played map in all of Overwatch. You're not going to catch anybody off guard with a Kings Row pick. Everybody knows how to play Kings Row. Everybody has their own little individual strategies for it. We've seen some of the best moments in Overwatch history play out on Kings Row, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to go there. Just a reminder, though, we're not restricted to hybrid. Noble could choose an escort or an assault map, so should they really want to. If they feel like that's going to give them the advantage and the ability to come back and tie up this series. As a matter of fact, they have. We're headed to Japan, to beautiful Hanamura for map number 2.
that's a shocker, to say the least. I'm honestly surprised that we're going to Japan, but maybe Noble have something up their sleeve here, and I think it's going to run through their DPS because Rocket and Malful absolutely took LH Cloudy and company to task there in Korea. So we are going to see a side swap here. So we're going to see Wisp on the attack. Noble is going to be on the defense, I believe.
I think it's the other way around, honestly, but I could be wrong. That's my goldfish brain, probably has it backwards. But
Skunk moment.
we'll get into the map and we'll find out. I think Wisp is defending, but we'll get into the map and we'll find out. I was talking about a little bit of the history of Noble. Let's look at the other side. A little bit of history with Wisp. Wisp did a full makeover on their roster coming into the month of August. So a lot of these names, they're not the same names you saw when they were competing in Contenders. They did get 3rd in Trials last time around. That was back in June. Came out 5th and 7th in June and July, respectively, which is why we're seeing them again in Trials, and made just wholesale swaps. I believe with Mosier is basically the only starter that is left on this squad. You even got new coaches coming in. You've got Amentus, who we've seen on the broadcast, by the way. This is Team Heat coaches. And then Tinsa, who we saw playing support for Wisp in the previous months, has moved into a coaching role. And it's some of our most trusted confidants have said that Tinsa has one of the biggest brains, is one of the best shot callers in the game. And so moving into a coaching role just only makes sense. And I think it's just empowered this team more and more. I'm expecting big things from this Wisp roster going forward. I think that we'll see them move on into Contenders proper. I fully expect them to make top 4 in Trials.
Yeah, I'm going to go out there and say they're going to take 2nd in Trials behind Redbird Esports, just based upon what I've seen all week. I've been in chat, lurking, watching, trying to get my research in on these two teams, and Wisp looks pretty darn dominant right now. So what we'll see out of Wisp here, we're going to bring out the Tracer and Pharah. So, lots of poke damage from on high. They don't really have a hit scan player here to deal with it. They're going to, look probably to big flop it to take down the Pharah as their real chance, their real, basically hit scan here for Noble here on the offense. So, I mean, looks like they're going to try and teleport to point, and Doge and Crowy, they're going to have a lot of mobility.
A whole lot of mobility. A very interesting defense coming out from Wisp. I anticipate the setup all over. Look at how scattered this defense is. Oh my goodness. Creating quite a kill box in the middle. Noble look to circumvent that entirely. They've got a teleporter set up. They're going on to the roof at the bottom of the screen right now. Moving in on the objective. They've got the city turret set up. And they've got Aki on this made a wall off, separate anybody from the defense that wants to move on to this objective. Setting up another teleporter, heading over to Mini. I love it. What a wise use of the teleporter. Now it's up to Wisp to try to dislodge them. They're putting in damage from all sides, but Noble is not giving up an inch. They're not really giving them any openings to work with here, Billy. You've got those moving on, but immediately gets frozen up and taken out.
Yep, that should be first point right there. I mean, they don't really have the initiation tools to be able to get on the point and take care of the damage coming in from Noble. So Noble is going to have a pretty easy time here, Rocket notwithstanding.
But I mean, yeah, Crawler tried to move on, no dice. Just gets DMX'd immediately. Rocket put toes on the point, but I mean, tanks are gone. They even invest a barrage. I imagine we're going to get a swap out of Malphal, maybe even more than just Malphal moving into point A.
Yeah, I mean, Rocket does get a constellation kill, though, onto Aki, but Rocket's going to pay the price for that. So, I mean, looking at Wisp right now, compositionally, they're getting just bullied by LH Cloudy and Nos. I mean, Nos almost has his photon barrier already online, and you've got both support ultimates. Depending on if they wait for the photon barrier, Jeff, they could take this point in a massively fast fashion.
All the tools available to just roll this into 2 fights, 2 points for Noble and put up a wicked fast time. Malphal gets the nano boost. A nano Doomfist is certainly not something you see every day. But the nano's going to fade. Malphal not able to get any picks with it. Noble's still sitting back almost on their full 6-pack of ults ready to go. They're going to rotate through main.
Yeah, they're going to go on top of the builder there and start their aggression on the front.
Yep, photon barrier out in the middle. Blizzard there, just in case anybody tries to get close. Malphal dared, gets frozen up, deleted. That's what happens when you punch into a Blizzard. Ant Matrix up in the back from Big Floppa, just shooting down onto the objective, and Progress is about to start pouring through.
Yep, and I mean, they've really taken care of the members of Wisp right there. This should be 2 points, if not 3.
They got about 2.5 and 20% left to go. Icy still has a self-destruct to buy a little bit more space on that point. Self-destruct coming out from Cry. Start things off, Nos goes down. Could be the start of the decline. Rocket comes in. Malphal smashes the ground with authority and Wisp's in Noble packing.
Yeah, beautiful work there from Wisp. They gave up the 2 points. They made a little bit of a compositional shift there, bringing Doge out on the Reinhardt. That actually got a lot of value, and then swapping back over to the Wrecking Ball. So, they made some early changes. Rocket now bringing out the Southern Belle with the Viper. I like this swap here. Rack Attack is going to bring out the Zenyatta as well. So a lot of wholesale changes coming in here. Nos now on the Cowboy.
I'm honestly surprised Wisp didn't make these changes sooner, but better late than never, I suppose. Noble did spend 5 ultimates to get their 2 ticks. Just have that self-destruct left. So, I mean, this might be a little bit of a dry run. You can get some kills in the neutral, great. But Wisp clearly aren't going to just give those over. Knowing they can't get too close, they isolate Big Floppa off the high ground. Baptiste gone. So if Noble do want to win this now, they've got to do it quickly because they don't have a Baptiste anymore. Do have 2 picks. It's +2, +1. Back to Noble right now, 4v3 on this objective, and Leopard's going to go and invest the sound barrier. They take care of Mosier, they take care of Rocket, they get the point, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, they just waited it out. And I tell you what, that's a pretty darn fast time. Regardless of what they came in with, they still have almost 3 minutes on the clock. So that is a very dominant performance there from Noble. And it was just a compositional difference in the beginning from point A that bled over into point B. And Nos swapping off the Symmetric, going to the Cowboy, really changed up the comp from Noble and made Doge and more importantly, Rack Attack on the Zenyatta very vulnerable to the flashbang. So, Noble recognizing what they needed to swap out in a hurry. They got it done, and now they're sitting with a 2-minute 53-second time bank.
Ready for battle.
Quite respectable indeed. And Noble sticking with the tried and true. No changes coming out on the defense. And this means, well, at least this would indicate to me that they're just going to take a standard hold right up here at the door, try to ice wall up anybody that comes past, and just separate the attackers in twain.
Well, I mean, let's see what Cloudy's going to do here. Is he going to hide inside the restaurant?
I think this is just an early fire strike for ult charge. I don't know. It's Cloudy, man. You don't know. I mean, like, hey, he might have something special in store.
I'm interested to see what he's going to do here.
3, 2,
I think it's just scouting at a fire strike. That would be my anticipation. Yeah. Nothing cheeky.
12% off the bat.
Yeah,
Not bad.
exactly. Just some good ult charge to start things off. Mosier is going to heal that up. Oh, what a wall! And then they've got the teleporter in the back as Wisp are coming out on the Reinhardt Diva. Also with the Ice Queen composition. Pretty standard stuff for Hanamura. But they don't all make it through the teleporter. Doge does emerge with ferocity, with anger and furious vengeance onto this objective. Picks up 2 kills, is swinging for the fences with reckless abandon. Doge claiming this one for their own as Wisp plant their flag on point A.
Yeah, Doge was having none of this nonsense. They actually do it in almost a minute faster than what we saw out of Noble. Doge and Rocket getting a lot of value in there. I mean, look at this. The ultimate charges for Wisp. Cloudy's going to have a Shatter to test with, but Malfo's now bringing in the Edgelord, and this is going to spell massive trouble for Icy and Cloudy.
Nos going over to a Doomfist. But I mean, going into a Reaper, that's tough. That's a tough ask for a Doomfist because the Reaper with that vampire healing can match Nos building up the shields with those cooldowns. So it ends up being a great pick coming out from Malfoy. And you can see Nos just heading for the hills, trying to run away from the dual shotguns of the Edgelord. Cloudy drops down. Doge with the Shatter ready to go, and Cloudy already very low, has to jump off. Shatter comes down, finds a bunch of nothing. Cloudy able to pick up 2. That was a big pin. Cloudy's gonna fall. Doge swings, hits Aki right in the dome. 2 ticks picked up for Wisp, and they're looking to pick up an even faster time. Big Floppa sacrifices themselves to try to slow it down. And Wisp, they're running on fumes here. They're not at a full 6. Nevertheless, they're finding picks. Cloudy returns. Icy finds 2 with the self-destruct.
That should end the fight right there. I mean, they've got so much advantage, especially with the spawn in their favor. That'll end the fight. And I mean, they got 2 ticks, almost 3, and they still have a little less than 5 minutes left. So they're going to have the self-destruct in this next fight. But Aki will have Blizzard. I mean, you can go Blizzard into Rocket and the Meteor Strike.
Sorry. Nothing's like, fine, you're not going to finish me off. I'll just teleport out. There's my team. I'm going to go regroup. Noble with a little bit of hubris might come back to bite him. I mean, at least they missed an opportunity to buy some time.
Right. Punch. Oh, what a punch.
Rocket eating the brunt of that big right hook. Now, take it to the skies. Meteor Strike coming in on the supports. Mosier's a pancake out in the statue area of Hanamura. Nos coming up with a couple of key picks.
Oh, man, you're going to want that Amp Matrix back because now Big Floppa has a free one. But you do have both tank ultimates ready to go as well as Malfoy coming up on Death Blossom. So this is going to be a strange fight. This could go in the favor of Wisp. I'm looking for Aki, though, to lock everything down with a well-placed Blizzard.
I mean, Whisper are prime targets for that Blizzard. They want to be bunched up. They want to be all together. And they know exactly where to be. The teleporter says, hey, we're going to be right here. Body throws down the Shatter. Doesn't get anything. Sound barrier out, but the Blizzard comes through. Doge is frozen up, self-destruct out, and Rocket is blown to smithereens. This is another great start. No DPS, no Diva Mech, nothing here for Wisp to try to finish off point B.
Icy, I mentioned it at the beginning of the broadcast. I'm going to mention it again. Icy has been hitting clutch self-destructs this entire Trials run, and this is no different. This is 2 in the first one, 1 there. and they get maximum value from when they press Q. So Wisp back to the drawing board. They're now going to be below Noble's time. They still have their own self-destruct into this fight. Nas can get away from it with the Meteor Strike.
Going through main. Wisp looking to set up. Mouthful going to the high ground. Teleport right on top. What a bold teleport. Muffle surprises him from stairway side. Big flop out of the fight already. Half of the defense dead. Self-destruct out from Croy this time. And Wisp should be able to take this third point. There it is. It's 34 seconds slower than their opposition, but they get the job done.
What a fantastic teleport, though, Jeff. They went right on top of him. I'm a massive fan of that.
Fearless.
Absolutely took the aggression to Noble, and Noble did not have an answer for it. And I love the decisiveness of that push. And now, Wisp are going to have a chance to attack again. So they're coming off of the attack, and they're going right back into an attack phase. I give them a little bit of an edge here, especially how fast they took that first point in their attack phase on their first try. So Noble really need to iron down what was deficient on their first defense, and Nos going to bring out the Southern Belle.
I mean, they're on their first defense. They managed to take down the teleporter and split the attacking team of Wisp, so they didn't all move on to the objective at the same time. Great May walls coming out from Aki, but Doge just goes swinging into the pack and finds multiple kills with that hammer. So I think what they need to do is focus down Doge quicker. If I had to just give a quick analysis of their first defense, they failed to focus down Doge on the Reinhardt. You take Doge down early, the whole attack will fall apart.
Yep, and I think Rocket right now is getting a gold medal for me for the Symmetra play as well.
Oh, yeah. Amen to that. I second that notion. Big vouch.
Let's see how they path this time. They're not playing around this time. Look at Nos there on the high ground. Has the support of Big Flopper with him.
They fake the teleporter. Only Crawley went through. Doge comes just in from the front door and swings. By the time Aki realizes it and gets the wall up, it does separate the supports, but it doesn't keep the tanks from putting the pressure on. Now, the answer back, but it's still a one-player advantage for Wisp as they move on to the objective. They're going to take this, Billy.
They are absolutely going to take this. I mean, it's all clean up right now. What a boot coming out from Rack Attack there, denying them to get on the point.
And that's going to be the DMAC. Lap is done as well. And Doge is absolutely a Reinhardt unhinged right now. Holy cow.
This is beautiful work out of Wisp. I mean, they're going to have 90 seconds to get on the point and see how much progress they can get. They've got a Matrix to get them on the point.
Oh, the big Omnic Butler coming out. Hashtag give Bob a raise. On to this objective. Seventh man there is going to slow Wisp down and actually devalues the Ant Matrix as well. So in turn, Wisp are going to rotate around, look to steal this high ground, perhaps. Croy, just do a little poking and prodding and let him know that he knows that they're there. He knows that they know that. All right. Mouthful with a nice little jab takes Aki out of the fight. And now, without a main tank, Noble are in a very tough spot. Here in extra innings, Wisp are threatening to put 4 points on the board. Cloudy coming back, might have the shatter, but Doge lays one down of their own. Icy's gonna fall. Cloudy shatter does find Rack and Mouthful in the back. Rack is gonna get taken down. Mouthful back on their feet. Has this Meteor Strike ready to go. Doesn't need it to finish off Nos. Just a big old uppercut to the chin of the Edgelord. And 4 points, indeed, put up by Wisp here in the extra innings.
And time in the bank as well. So, I tell you what, this is turning out to be one of those Hanamura moments. We'll see if Wisp can clean up their defense now. Because they kind of got rolled on their first point defense in their defense stage, 9 hours ago. So let's see what Noble is going to change up on their attack as well. I mean, they really took it to Wisp. I mean, we're going to see this basically come down to second point unless Wisp comes out with something a little different.
Oh man. Hey, you know what? 9 hours of these two going at it. That's music to my ears, Billy. I'll take all of it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, to even get to a drawable state, though, Noble will have to capture both of these objectives. Now, I mean, we saw him do it once before, but it took him longer than 2 minutes and 34 seconds to make it happen.
Yep. And that's what I'm looking at. That's the eye test right now is, are they going to be able to get, point A in a quick fashion like they did last time? And are they going to be able to progress to point B and get it in the same speedily fashion that we saw Wisp just do?
Yeah, Wisp just captured both points in 93 seconds. Just blazing fast.
Defend objective A.
No changes from the attackers. Wisp going back to their scattered approach defense. This did not work very well for them first time. Let's see if they've ironed out the mistakes. Same approach from Noble, teleporting over the rooftop, moving on to the objectives, set up the sim teleporters, and wait for somebody to approach. Once again, it's Croy trying to move in, trying to bait out the wall, does indeed get it out. Malthul, this is a different start. Malthul showing up with the key pick on the big flopper. This means the tanks could be in a lot of trouble. Cloudy goes down, Icy gets DMAxed, Noble get thwarted on their first attack.
And let me tell you what, it's Moser difference right there. It
Right
is
there.
the anti-nade coming in. Look at it all again. The anti-nades was massive from Moser. And that is the difference between their first defense on their first defense phase and here in overtime.
Malthul landing that kill on the big flopper is absolutely imperative as well.
90 seconds, Jeff. 90 seconds between them and going down 0-2 and facing match point for Noble.
No more teleporter. As Noble just push in, go to the right-hand side, try to separate those, but he's able to roll back just in the nick of time. Nano boost online for Mosier. Probably, I'm not even sure where you go with this one. Perhaps on the Rocket, perhaps on the Croy, perhaps on anybody who just needs saving. But it's less of an engagement tool, and I think more of a defensive tool at this point. It does go on to Doge. Doge is going to use that to build up the rest of the mines. It doesn't really get a whole lot of value out of it, though. It doesn't even really get much ult charge. Noble taking this slow and steady, and they're below the 60-second mark. Finally choose to engage as left sound barrier and the Ant Matrix come online. Ant Matrix out in the back. Doja is going to fall as a result. Frozen up, deleted at the hands of Nos. Rocket responds, big flopping down once again. The first target for this Wisp defense. But it doesn't look like it's going to have the same impact because Lep has that sound barrier online, ready to go. It's enabled the rest of the team to push and stay aggressive and clean up the rest of this fight. It's taken longer than Noble would have liked. They'll eventually get this point.
Oh, they're going to go ahead and miss the self-destruct here. That's going to buy a little bit more time. But Aki with an icicle to the dome.
Nice pair of cleanup kills there for Aki on the back of the fight. 35 seconds on the clock. Hey, a couple of ults for Noble to work with here.
They're going to be underneath the time of Wisp. That's guaranteed. However, Blizzard into self-destruct, and if Cloudy lands a shatter as well, this could be a very excruciatingly painful combo here from Wisp for Noble.
That's if they're able to lock him down. Wisp are highly mobile. I'll be looking for Malthul, maybe Mosier, to try to hit with those two ultimates. I mean, if you can get Mosier out of this fight, then that will go a long way, but not an easy task at all. Mosier is deep, that back left-hand side, very well entrenched, very defensible. No, instead the Shatter is going to go on to Croy. Croy will get D-Max. Once again, that nano boost on to Doge, just shooting down from above. Blizzard out, Rocket goes down, Croy goes down. +2 to Noble with the overtime wick burning. Doge, manually frozen, has to back on out. Cloudy taking a quick nap and just watching everything unfold around him. Mine's coming out, but Nos has this Deadeye ready to go. That's going to buy them nearly a second tick and a kill on the Doge. But the presence left behind by Doge finds Icy and is whittling away at this attack from Noble. Wisp returning in. Here comes the whack attack. Valkyrie, but it's shut down. Oh my goodness, can't get the res off. Now Rocket nearly holding on, and they do! What a back and forth somehow by the skin of their teeth. Wisp edge out Hanamura. Whew. Billy, that was an absolutely thrilling Hanamura. And I mean, when you put up a 93-second 2-point attack in extra innings, it's just hard to come back from that. Noble very nearly did, but Wisp managed to edge it out in the end.
I mean, Nos put a hell of a performance there on the right hand side of the.
I thought it was
point.
going to be enough.
I thought that was enough, and I mean, just the tenaciousness and the closeness of Spawn rearing its ugly head for Noble. I thought Noble had it there. I thought we were going to a second set of extra innings, but in the end, Wisp does take the 2-0 lead here in our series.
Once you got Cloudy out, Cloudy stayed alive for so long, but it was a killer sleep dart from Mosier once again that initiated what ended up being Cloudy's demise. And now Noble have to fight back and win 3 in a row if they want to move up 2-1 in trials. They desperately need this win, Billy. Can they make it happen? We're gonna take a quick break. We'll find out when we come back. Wisp up 2-0 between these two teams that are deadlocked coming into day 3 of Contenders trials. And I mean, on Hanamura, Billy, they straight up beat them at their own game. Wisp played the brawl and put up a 93-second take in overtime. What an outstanding Hanamura to put him on match point.
I mean, and that was Noble's map pick as well.
It was.
So they got played there. And now, we're going to head to Rialto. And that's where Noble's taking us. And Noble's going to be on the defense here. So looking at the map set, I mean, we see how we have gotten to match point here for the members of Wisp. Wisp with the complete roster swap up, except for Mosier. And Mosier, God.
You can see why they kept Mosier around. Holy cow. What a great performance on that Ana. That was fantastic.
I mean, that was almost ultraviolet-like. I mean, just the accuracy of the anti-nades, the sleeps that came in as well, the application of nano, maybe questionable once onto the Doomfist, but I still don't fault him for that. Got the Doomfist back up to full health at least.
Well, and it's not like the Winston compositions where it's a staple cornerstone of how that comp is executed of your win conditions. The nano is just a little bit of icing on the cake, a bonus for some extra health or some extra damage. I mean, we saw it used on the Wrecking Ball as well, but that's certainly no fault of Mosier, I don't think. Either way, they're able to edge it out, pull out the victory, and now looking to go to Rialto for map 3, see if they can do it again. I anticipate the same tried and true coming out of Noble. It doesn't look like they're ready to pull out the Reset or the Wrecking Ball comps that they've apparently been working on. Wisp, on the other hand, have a plethora of options at their disposal in their bag of tricks.
I mean, I you've got to change something up right now because they're beating you at your own game.
Yeah.
You can't run Brawl against a Brawl team that's beating you at it. They've done it twice now. So Doge is once again showing the versatility in the main tank department, and I see no differences coming out here. I'm wondering if we're going to see Double Bubble perhaps come out from Wisp. I mean, you could definitely work with that, especially with how well versed that we've seen Doge be. So, man, I'm very interested. I'm very excited to get into this next map because I want to see the work that Cloudy's been putting in on these other main tanks. I want to see what he can do. Because we were talking about the growth, and when I was talking with Jennifer, once again, it's all about the growth and being able to adapt to your situation because you don't want to go down 1 and 2 here in this highly competitive North American trials.
Definitely do not want to drop this series. Noble need this one quite desperately. Like we've mentioned before, atop the broadcast, they still have Redbird Esports in front of them. So, I mean, that's pretty much a loss there. So if they lose this one, and we anticipate Redbird Esports will win their matchup, that's going to be 3 losses for Noble. And that's pretty much out of contention. I mean, I don't want to call it too soon, Billy, but 3 losses in trials, and you're staring on the barrel of 5th place.
I mean, it's the 2 through 5 teams that are going to really dictate who gets that second transfer spot, right? I think it's going to have to be a 3 and 2 team. But it could be a 2 and 3 team. This is where the head-to-head is going to come into play down the line. Is how are these head-to-head matchups going to go? And then I think after that, map differential comes into play as well. So it's very stressful. Even just casting this on our side, it could go anyway. So I mean, Wisp, they come out with a 3-0 victory here. That is going to set them up for success moving forward. They're actually going to go ahead of Avidity.
And it would be their second 3-0 in a row. Wisp have already faced the juggernaut that is Redbird. So that they don't have to worry about that one anymore. Wisp could very easily go 4-1 and claim that second place slot that you were predicting them to take with a win here on Rialto. They are going to start us off on the attack as we get a side swap once again. A little dance from Lep. I like it. Noble spirits are still high. You can see that right there. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Looking like a close hold. They're not being subtle about it either.
No, I think they want them to know that they're there. And Malfo and Rocket, I mean, they're going to have a lot of vision here, especially with that Sonic Arrow. Malfo coming over to the Pharah now. So we've got a little pig's feet coming out from Wisp.
And Doge actually taking the Reinhardt role.
Nice angle here from Nos, looking to take down Mothel, which would be key. Oh, gets the kill on a rocket. That is such a difficult kill for a Widowmaker to make. And it's Big Floppa landed the shots. Mouthel's wings have been clipped. And now Cloudy does not have to worry about the rockets from the skies for another 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think that they really wanted that performance out of Big Floppa on Hanamura, not being able to take down the Pharah there. But Rocket is starting to find the range with machine pistols. I just need to see some kills coming through.
Well, Crawley got one for you, and that's a big one. Big Floppa out of the fight. That's a lot of Cloudy sustained. And now Cloudy's under a lot of pressure from all sides. Getting shot at from above, from behind, and it's Rocket putting in the final blow. Icy low on point will get D next. And Doge deals with Nos in the back. Wisp have unlocked the point, can finally get this card on the road.
Yeah, and it's the versatility once again. We talked about it at the beginning of the cast. We've talked about it, throughout the cast. It is the flexibility and the versatility of the members of Wisp, which is where they've really leveled up from previous contenders trials. I mean, Mothel, 3 heroes in the first, minute and a half of this map, and they're going to get first corner here.
And, this may be a question we pose there at the end, but this looks to me like everybody from Wisp is on their best heroes at the moment. There's a nice stick from there. Lep has to use the sound barrier, and Immortality comes out to protect against that Soul Pulse Bomb. Ant Matrix up in the back, but Big Floppa goes down. Now Nos does find some revenge, but Wisp have full reign from here, using so far only the Valkyrie from Rack Attack to push this forward, and they're going to gain a lot of ground with minimal investment.
Rack Attack getting the punch kill on LH Cloudy. That is just poetry in motion right there.
The bow staff to the face.
It's symbolic. It is, Kim, you've got to be proud of your son right now. That's so hilarious.
What a great fight. I said it was just the Valk. There was that pulse bomb early as well. Instrumental pulse bomb at that. Can't forget about that in that previous fight. We do have a contest coming through on the back. Ult at the ready for Noble now. And fighting into these close quarters, Noble might be able to find a lot of value with him. Wisp taking their time, looking for the right opening.
I mean, I'm looking for Malphite to get a Diva duplicate in this next fight. Or the Reinhardt. Both are good fights.
Okay, well, the res is there, but that res is now used. Rack Attack does manage to survive that resurrection. And here comes the Doom. Maltho with the Diva in the back, lands on the high ground. Nice little play. And Wisp continue this attempt to surround the Death Ball. It's going to be a self-destruct in the back. Everybody's able to dodge into the small room. Transcendence coming out. Cloudy goes down. Cloudy was holding Shatter. That could have been a huge ultimate in these close quarters. Blizzard didn't find anything. Lep throws up yet another sound barrier. But now, is there anything to protect against the Flux? It's a lot of low health bars coming through. Rack Attack taken out in the back by the Deadeye. The Cry continues to put down an immense amount of pressure on this Sigma and keeps finding pitch. Rocket there to clean up what Cry has started. One by one, Wisp are picking apart Noble.
What a kinetic grasp from Crawley. 22 health in a dream, and he secures the fight win. Oh my word. I talked about this off tank at the beginning of the broadcast. This is what you want to see out of your off tank. Taking the risk, getting the value, getting the aim down, and just laying it all on the line. They are playing like they want to win this map, but they have to contend with L'Angelo della Morte, the corner of death.
Perhaps the most defensible spot in the entirety of Overwatch. Nice wall, nice shatter. That's a quick 2 kills. Really 3 in all, as I believe Rocket fell to their own pulse. And that's how you come back. That's how you make a statement, Noble.
Big statement, and now I love this high ground position here, especially with if Floppa can get the Ant Matrix online. You're going to be able to hold bridge with a ferocity. You're going to be pouring double damage out the window. And I tell you what, Aki, with a couple of headshots with the icicles, can definitely stop this cart from moving.
It also means that it would benefit Wisp to attack sooner rather than later. All they're waiting on is Malthel's duplicate, perhaps just trying to find the right target to approach this McFlurry composition. Nope, it was the duplicate to engage. Valkyrie used as well as the duplicated Diva is into the back. Aki has this Blizzard ready to go, is looking for the right time to use it. Self-destruct out means everybody's got to get away. Cloudy's able to shield, but it buys enough time for Rack Attack to get Rocket back into this fight. Full 6v6. taking place around this second corner. His Mouthful takes it back to the skies. Mosher has Transcendence ready to go, just waiting for Aki to pull the trigger on this Blizzard. It's actually Nos's Deadeye coming out next. Noble have been very conservative with their ultimates, trying to get max value. They don't get a whole lot out of that Deadeye.
Yeah, sound barrier to start this fight. Rocket, oh my goodness, I thought they were dead to that flashbang.
Nos just barely misses the headshot. That could have been the one. 45 seconds left to go. Transcendence used. That's going to fade. Aki gets the Blizzard out, but Mothel finds the kill. Cries. Gravitic Flux able to pick up one as well. And Wisp, well, they just threw away the advantage. No, Nos! Nos turning this thing around. Has managed to pick up both DPS. Is taken Doge down.
Nos?
There's the final blow. Nos will not be denied as the Cowboy holds the line.
Oh, that was noise from Nos. As I think that.
I see what you did there.
No, noise. But they've got amp makers now, and they can stop the aggression coming in. I mean, we're at 3 seconds of touching guard, and they might be able to touch.
Okay, Doge did get the touch in. Boop wasn't quite there from left, but Wisp now are just forced to hurl themselves into this death ball, into the double damage Ant Matrix from Big Floppa. Nos landing the shots, has yet another Deadeye ready to go. That takes Rack Attack down. This cart's not going anywhere.
Well, Longalo de la Muerte claims the lives of Wisp, claims the end of Wisp's run here on their attack phase. So definite win condition set here for Nobles. Cloudy had a much better map here with the Reinhardt. Shatter's landing, Nos coming alive with the Peacekeeper. Two big reasons why they were able to sustain and stop the progress of Wisp. Lep had a pretty darn good round there as well. So let's see if they can carry this momentum and get themselves a point on the board.
This is looking almost identical to their match with DICE that we saw on Monday. I believe that was Monday. Similar result. Noble able to hold around the corner of death. Their death ball composition is perfect in that tiny little area. Able to deny a lot of space, a lot of high ground. Like you said, Nos landing the shots exactly when Noble needed it. Now it's up to Wisp to try to make a hold if they want to take this third map. Noble desperately need this. If not for the overall victory, at least get some map points.
Yeah, I mean, it'll close the map differential, at least for one. So, I mean, that's going to be end game when we get to the end of trials. Every map point, I think it's going to come down to map points is what I think it's going to come down to after the head-to-head. So let's see what kind of work Malfa can get done on the far here.
Yeah, Malfa going back to the Egyptian Flyer for the defense. Conch Blast looking for a little bit of an environmental kill. Then Noble staying tight, staying with what they know. No changes as they head on to the attack. And just doing a conservative escort of the card at the moment. Looks like they're going to have to do the inside of the bank there. I think that's a bank. Is that a bank?
It's a hotel.
The hotel.
It is a hotel. And, I mean, right now, there's two on the cart. Really nothing to stop them at the moment. I'm looking to see where the tank line is set up and making their stand. It looks like they are both sitting on high ground.
Yeah, and trying to deny Nos from getting up there. Because, I mean, you get Nos up on this high ground with a lines of sight into courtyard, and this is pretty much all over. You can see a lot of Wisp are sitting up, trying to keep cover. And that's Cry and Mosier right above the point A archway, laying down tons of fire. With Mothel dropping the barrage, Lep goes down. Now Mothel going down to the ground, looking to clean up as Wisp look to isolate Noble into this small room. Mothel comes up with yet another.
I'm a little bit worried for Wisp right now, and I'll tell you why. They don't have any kind of real CC other than the accretion coming out of Crawley. Cloudy doesn't have much to worry about other than the targeted damage coming in from this Pharah. So, what?
Nice.
What a concussion!
Big Floppa taking a swim. That's a start right there. Noble's got to wait it out. You need your Baptiste in this composition. It's crucial.
I'm loving it. But really, Cloudy can just walk in as long as he's got the support behind him. and just take space as they want, because really the pile driver and the concussion and the accretion disc is really all the CC they've got. Nothing much else to stop them.
Oh, the big pile drive in the back. Mouthful with the follow-up. Look at this coordination. Rocket comes in on the back of that and picks up 2. Yeah, they lose Doge, but Doge can rest easy knowing their work is done. The remaining 3 members of Noble have to try to push this thing in.
Moser!
Whisper having none of it. Just look at that. Mosier landing the shots, dinking the heads. Round of applause for Mosier. What is Zenyatta?
Oh, my word. And saves Transcendence 2. Went down very low health-wise. And just bought the time. I mean, the right clicks, the alt fire coming in from him, just landing true.
Just pouring in volleys from the back. Oh, and another environmental early. Oh my goodness. Doge this time sending Nas into the drink. Going to swim with the fishies.
it's kind of poetic that it's in an Italian city too.
I thought you'd like that one.
The gangster films of the 20s, like, I gotta swim with the fishes.
Yes, exactly. All right, mine's out over the mega courtyard. Trying to split him up. Mouthful throws in the Mirage, picks up 2 before Nos finds the kill out of the newly swapped Widowmaker. Cloudy with an ambitious charge is greeted by a pair of machine pistols from Rocket.
You know, they forced them off the May, and I think that's the big change right now, is that McFlurry just couldn't get around the damage and the poke, the long range poke of Malful with that tether of rack attack once again, showing ferocity in the skies. Now they've got the Transcendence here in the last fight for point, and the Flux.
It's the Gravitic Flux to start things off. Now he's going to finish off Nos. Dangerous Rockets. Charging in, Big Floppa and everybody pile on the damage to Croy. And finally evict Wisp from that high ground they've been hiding in and layering in all of this damage. Whole host of ultimates ready to go. Floppa has the Amp Matrix out already. Transcendence used early in response to the sound barrier from Lep, or vice versa. Now the mines come out, no sound barrier remaining, and Cloudy gets caught in them. Had nowhere to run. Nice stick. Malfa couldn't quite get away as Aki lands the stick. There's still hope for Noble yet, even despite losing Cloudy early into this fight. But they still have to deal with Rocket. They still got to deal with Doge. They do deal with Doge. Nos has gone over to the Echo, taking Doge out of the fight. Oh, but Crozer and Crawley and Mosier combined for a couple kills. Doge gets res, and Noble cannot get it done. Wisp is too strong here on Rialto. History will not repeat itself on this map. Wisp get their second 3-0 victory in a row. Move up to 2-1 on the week with a +6, firmly cementing their spot in second place.
The brothers Rakasas. I hope I said your last name correctly. If I didn't, please send me a DM. But they absolutely showed up. Doge and Rack Attack had a dominant performance there on Rialto. And I got to tell you what, Malthal is showing up once again on the DPS role, Jeff. I mean, this was dominant performance. The poke just could not be contained, even with that beautiful stick from Aki on a Farah getting ready to go in the sky. Yeah, that's a beautiful stick and a half.
Such a small window of opportunity, and Aki found it just perfect. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's this new roster from Wisp looking so strong. Another clean sweep. And we're going to get a chance to talk to him. We're going to have Rack Attack joining us for an interview. So stick around. We'll be back and get some words from the Mercy Main themselves. And we are here with a Rack Attack sport player for Wisp. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on yet another 3-0 victory.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, wanted to talk about some team synergy, because this team seems to have players coming in from a lot of different teams. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of a previous experience with these players playing together. Tell us a little bit about how that's been built, what y'all have done to build this synergy. Give us a little history on that.
Well, the team was basically built the day of roster lock. There's only like 2 people on the roster, and it was a rough, like, no one knew if they wanted to join, and then 2 came from another team that like disbanded. So me and Mouthful already played together. Doge has played with Moser in the past, and then Mouthful and Krari were on a team together like right before roster lock, and then we all came together, and we got Rocket because Rocket was really good.
Rocket has been outstanding. That's you couldn't tell that y'all came together day of. I mean, you were saying y'all had barely any scrim time.
Yeah, I mean, after the roster lock, like we basically, it's a lot different from Odyssey, but with old Odyssey, we had like 4 hours a day, like every day. So we were getting the scrims that we could in.
I mean, and that was a strong squad. Then, of course, you opened up against Redbird Esports. So that is a tough first opponent. But, I mean, man, have you turned it around since? I mean, 6 map wins in a row. I mean, right now, I think we've got you slated for second place if y'all keep this up. So, I mean, well done indeed.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that leads into my question here, Rack Attack. What are your expectations, considering that if you do get the second transfer spot into Contenders proper, what are your expectations getting up there?
I mean, the next games are like next week, and I mean, we're hoping for the 3-0s and stuff, but you always gotta make sure you're not too overconfident, because we played against that new Avidity team. They were pretty good in scrims, and we just gotta watch out and not get too cocky about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the humility and just take it one game at a time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of confidence, y'all shown a lot of different compositions, throughout the 3 days of games. I mean, we've only seen 2 on stream, but we've seen a lot of different looks from y'all. What do you think is your strongest suit? I mean, it looks like they're on Rialto. Everybody's kind of falling into their strengths. I was looking at the top, and it seemed like everybody was on strong picks, right? Doge on the ball, Cry on the Sigma. You've got the Tracer and the Echo in there in the beginning. Of course, you were on the Mercy. Do y'all like that composition the best, or does it just vary with the moment?
We definitely have practiced the most of like ball-ish comps. I remember trying to get some double shield in there right as I joined, as my previous teams might have played some double shield in the past. And,
just a wee bit. Just a wee bit.
They didn't like the sound of it at first, but then like come game day versus Drifters, I think, we just went double shield and we're like, wow, this is pretty easy. And then that comp that you saw, was basically everyone's comfortable on those heroes. The Tracer, Mouthful's probably the best Echo in the world, so like, I mean, he's good with that.
Right on. Well, hey, I mean, it looks like that versatility could really be a strength. Is that something y'all have considered consciously or plan to use going forward?
I mean, we're staying to play fluid. That's our plan. Just confuse them, keep changing it up, see if they can react.
Hey, I mean, it's a bold strategy, because you have to specialize in a lot of different things. But I mean, it looks like you're well on your way to doing that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got to ask about the Rack family diff. Like, is that you got the family buff going on?
I mean, yeah, we got a strong backing. The Rack pack, everyone welcome. Everyone get in the chat, do what you want. We've got community like watch parties, and one of my like family's discords. It's like family and friends and stuff. Probably get an invite. Ask Halcyonic, Nikki Rakowskis. I don't know how to contact her, but she will get you into that server. Yep.
Fantastic.
I follow her. I follow her on Twitter. So yeah. Rakowskis. Now I can say it the right way. I saw it in the chat how to pronounce it. I is it Lithuanian?
Yeah, Lithuanian.
Yeah.
It was definitely a hard name growing up playing like hockey. It would be like Riskaskauskis. Don't know what's happening. I'm like, it's like just getting called on. I'm like, it's just me. They go Kyle. I'm like, yeah, I
I just picture you had Rack Attack on the back of your jersey. Like that's just how I envisioned it. Oh man. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. Any shout outs, thank yous you want to give before we let you go?
Well, thank you to the Rack Pack and Wisp for pulling me into that roster. I basically had nowhere to go, and I was just kind of hopped in at the last second. So thank you, everybody.
Well, it's a treat to get to watch you play. So we're appreciative as well. But good luck on the rest of the week, and hopefully we'll see you in Contenders.
Thank you.
All right, friends, that is going to wrap up day 3 of Contenders Trials. What a day as we cross the halfway mark. We're really starting to see some teams step up like Wisp and come into their own. And this Trials is starting to shape up beautifully. Billy, any thoughts here as we approach the end of the broadcast?
I mean, Wisp is a refreshing breath of fresh air. We saw their previous iteration make it into Contenders. I have zero doubt that they're going to get that second transfer spot, my friends. So, man, if this is Wisp on just a few scrims, can you imagine when they actually have time to properly get themselves coordinated together? That is a scary proposition, almost as scary as going up against Redbird Esports. I mean, this first week, it's the end of the first week. Home stretch is coming up next week, and
Yes, sir.
woo, it is getting tight here in the NA region.
So speaking of, we'll have action resuming on Monday. We don't want to interfere with the OWL games and stuff that's going to be starting tomorrow. So we're going to pick this up again on Monday right here on this channel. Y'all be sure and hit the follow or subscribe respectively, whether you're on the Twitch or the YouTube. Hey, go follow Reflash Prod on Twitter while you're at it. You'll be sure and stay up to date with all the happenings here in Contenders Trials. Big shout out and thank you to our producers and observers, Blizzard and Samter respectively. And most importantly, thank you all very much for hanging out with Billy and myself as we got to enjoy some wonderful games here today. Couldn't do it without you. But with all that said, nothing else left to say except look out for each other in game and out. We will see you on Monday.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.